Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. This week we're going to talk about a touchy subject. So that subject is, how do you handle frustration with your peers at work? Now, one of the areas that keeps being brought up is that some people are returning to work, some people are not, and there's a lot of frustration with those that are at work with the ones who aren't working. And so this is a different kind of conflict. This is where you see somebody doing something that either you would want to do, or you see somebody doing something that you don't understand why they would be doing it. And for conflict such as this, it tends to be more on the internal side. So if you can look inside yourself and figure out where it's coming from. Is staying home something that you wish you could do? I know whenever everything first started with the pandemic, I went through this myself. I was frustrated because I was working a crazy amount of hours. I was trying to still spend time with my daughter, who didn't really understand what was going on, and then trying to figure out what was going on with my speaking business. And I saw friends who were at home and not working, and I was hearing these great stories about the unemployment, and they were finally getting to relax a little bit. But the thing to remember is that what you see of someone's story is the cover of the book. You don't know the entire story. You don't know if that person is dealing with severe anxiety about the possibility of them or someone that they love getting sick. You don't know if the person was right at their breaking point and this came just in time. And you also don't know if that person is absolutely panicking, trying to figure out how they're going to get their next job. So remember, this is an internal battle. Figure out what it is where the frustration is coming from, what need that you have that's not being met. And if you can figure that out, then it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, because you'll be able to resolve the conflict within yourself. And as far as true peer-to-peer conflicts, we'll cover another video of that a little bit later. But if you are suffering from a challenging peer, it's okay to set boundaries. I know I grew up in the Deep South, and in the Deep South, women weren't known for setting a lot of boundaries. We were known for being polite at all costs. And so setting boundaries could sometimes come across as rude or aggressive. But it's okay for you to set boundaries for what you need. So as long as they're realistic boundaries. Telling everybody in the workspace that not to eat fish, that's not a realistic boundary. But if you're allergic to vanilla perfume and it gives you a headache, it's okay to have a conversation with somebody who wears a lot of perfume and let them know, it causes a headache if they wouldn't mind. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, they may be upset, but it's okay to have these conversations. If anything gets beyond the point of it's just you and somebody disagreeing, don't forget you have resources. You have avenues that you can go. Most companies have some type of support program for their employees. And right now they tend to have more support programs than in the past. Talk to somebody. If it's beyond a mere dislike, if it's harassment, discrimination, toxic workplace, bullying, anything like that, have a conversation. There are people in your company who have been trained on how to handle this particular situation. And if you are dealing with something like that and you want a sounding board, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to let you know if this is something that you can have a conversation, or if this is something that maybe you might want to consider going to somebody else. You don't have to like everybody, and they don't have to like you. But you still need to be professional in the workplace. Thank you for joining me. If you have any follow-up questions, as always, don't hesitate to reach out. I love hearing from you. And don't forget to leave what you learned this week in the comments. Have a wonderful week, and you got this.